Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel.
I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glenn.
There you go, saying out of order again.
I am your husband, Glenn. Now,
I start.
but I finish. But anyway, she is my wife, Jackie, and I am her husband, Glenn. Welcome back to another Married at First Sight review. This time we're reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode 13. With Episode 13 already, and this one right here.
Bad luck. Is that what 13 is supposed to be?
I don't know if it's bad luck or not. I can't tell you if it's bad luck or not, but I can tell you one thing that a lot of people weren't happy about this season, this episode. A lot of people didn't have a lot of good luck, and what they say, rubber met the road, and for a lot of couples here.
Yeah.
Rubber met the road for a lot of couples because the couples had an opportunity to meet with Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper. Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper, and we saw some couples just couldn't, I don't want to say cut the mustard, they just couldn't cut it. They had a lot of situations going on, a lot of issues and a lot of circumstances. But hey, let's get started. Let's start with, I guess I want to say the least combative couple this time.
Oh, least combative. I mean, the couple, they was the least eventful of all.
Least eventful of all, the couple that everybody likes. We're going to start with Mirla and Gil. Mirla and Gil, well, we saw Mirla and Gil. We saw them earlier that Mirla made Gil some dinner. She made him some steaks, some asparagus, and something else. And, you know, he whatever he was putting his ketchup on him. Ketchup on it. Like, yeah, he just wanted everybody to know that he wouldn't put it on his steak.
Yes.
Like, we all know, if you're a good steak eater and you eat steak,
don't put no ketchup
you
on
don't put
steak.
no ketchup on steak, right?
Put steak sauce. A1 or Heinz 57 or
but if
some kind of steak sauce.
But if you got a really good steak, guess what? You put nothing on that bad boy, right?
Yeah.
If you got a really good steak, you put nothing on there. So Mirla and Gil, you know, and we see that each couple get to meet with Pastor Cal or Dr. Pepper. So Gil had the opportunity to meet with Pastor Cal. And he was excited to meet with Pastor Cal. He's like, well, I get to meet with Pastor Cal. And, you know, we get to
he's a good dude.
He's a good dude. I like him. And he meets with Pastor Cal. And when I meet with Pastor Cal, one thing Gil said when he got there, one thing he knows, Gil was like, look.
He said, how's everything going, Gil?
And Gil was like, my man, look, he said, let me tell you, like he was talking to his pops, let me tell you, all right, I finally got my kiss.
Everything's going good.
Everything is going good. I got my kiss. You know, and that's what Gil wanted. Gil wanted a kiss. He said if he got his kiss, everything will be good. Then Pastor Cal asked him, and he said, some reason, you know, give me some reason that you thought you were matched. Let me know why you were matched. And, you know, Gil says, you know, we were matched because we both very honest. We both are caring. We both are loving type people. And we're willing to sacrifice for other people. And we're not scared to tell each other things. Now, we all know that they're not scared to talk.
No.
Mirla will let you know what's on her mind every single time. Whether you like it or don't like it, she can tell you how she feels.
And Gil don't have no trouble telling Mirla what's the dealio.
Oh, I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be in marriage. If you have you're in a relationship or you with marriage, you're supposed to be able to communicate with each other and tell the other person, you know what, when their stuff stinks, when they're messed up, when they're not doing right, when things go south, when things are good, when things go bad. They're supposed to have to be able to communicate and talk to each other. And he said that's one of the things that he liked, that they are able to communicate with each other and be able to share with each other. Pastor Cal asked him, give me something that you don't like about Mirla. And he said, she's a Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's a Debbie Downer or not. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a Debbie Downer. I just would call that a person who's very particular.
No, I would call it a Debbie Downer. Somebody that always finds something to complain about. Now, mind you, she's not super negative when she does it, but she'll always find something. They showed a flashback when she was on the honeymoon. Oh, that looks like marsh. The pool in my apartment complex is bigger than that. Oh, the neighbors are so close. This. She has something to say about everything.
She does, but that's just her. I don't think it's always like.
Yeah, but just because it's her doesn't mean it's good. Like, nobody likes a constant complainer. She seems like the type of person that I would hate to go out to eat with.
Now that I don't like.
Oh my gosh, why is the portion so small? What's taking so long? Oh, it's something, yeah, you know.
That's one thing I don't do. I don't send my food back to anybody's kitchen complaining about it. If it comes out wrong, I'm just gonna deal with it right then and there. I don't like sending it back because you never know what happens when it goes back. So I'll keep it in front of me. It might be wrong, but guess what? I'm gonna eat the wrong meal. But again, he said that would be one thing that would make him say no. The question was, what would be one thing to make you say no? And he said the one thing that would make him say no would be that that she's a Debbie Downer. That he doesn't like the fact that she kind of complains about everything all the time.
And he and Pastor Cal talked about the fact that they, in her past relationships, people probably let that slide. She got her way. And Gil kind of gets her way, but like I said, you know, he does, cause a little bit of friction. You know, it's like, I'm not just going to lay down. You know, I'm going to say something about it, you know. Because
he said she's an alpha male. I mean, not alpha, she's an alpha female.
Yeah, he said they're both alphas.
They're both alphas, absolutely. And she's not an alpha male, but they're both alphas. So
she's not male at all.
She's not male at all. They both want to be in charge, but she's an alpha, and so she was able to, in her past relationships, probably run over the person in her past relationship, run over the guy in her relationship, and they did whatever she asked them, whatever she wanted them to do. So, and, you know, and Gil, to me, I think she likes that about Gil, that he is not a pushover,
right? That
he does stand up to her a little bit, that he does command respect without being forceful like some other men that we'll talk about a little bit later. That he knows who he is and he's going to stand by his morals, his principles, and be the man that he intended to be. You know, and so that's what, you know, Pastor Cal gave him the assignment. Look, you need to talk to her and tell her that you need her to not be a Debbie Downer. That you need her, this is what you need from her. Now we see Mirla. Alright? Mirla goes out there.
It's feeling good.
It's feeling, she's tipsy, she's nice, she's good, she's great, she's on high level. Whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah. Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
Because she has been out with her friends.
And they had 25-cent margaritas.
20.
Okay, so we speculated. How many dollars do you think she spent on margaritas?
Yo, let us know in the chat. Give us, take a guess. How much money?
I'm gonna say at least 5.
How much money do you think Mirla spent on margaritas? Just type it in the chat. Just what you think she spent on. I'm gonna say she spent about 20.
Good gosh.
I'm gonna think she was throwing them.
At first I said 10. I'm being nice. I brought it down to 5. But at first I said 10. Last night I said 10. Yeah, that's a lot.
She was flush in the face. She was feeling it. She was feeling.
She was giggly.
She was giggly. She was emotionally crying. Whoever she went out with in the margaritas, she was feeling good. All right. So she gets to Dr. Pepper, right? Dr. Pepper talks to her. They have they're conversing about some things, and Dr. Pepper says, the question she would like to ask Gil that will make her say yes on decision day. And she said, what do you need from her to make this work out? She said she would ask Gil, what do you need from me to make this work out? And I think, and she even answered herself, like, stop being so negative.
And Dr. Pepper helped her with that too.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper helped her be in that. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing for her, and she knows that the biggest thing is that her negativity is a turnoff. And like I said, no one likes it all the time. I know I was tongue-in-cheek earlier. Nobody likes to be a person who's negative all the time.
Right.
You got to have some kind of positivity or some kind of positive thing that's going on. And that's her biggest flaw. If you look at it, most men wouldn't be able to handle Mirla and all the negativity. But Gil is a patient person, and he's been able to navigate his way through her activity. He's been able to navigate her way through what they're going through, right? And she said, I can't bite. She said, I can't bite my tongue.
She can't.
I've never been a person that's been able to bite my tongue. She said, I've always been blunt. There's one way to be blunt, and there's another way just to be rude.
Right, and she's not rude.
She's not rude.
Now we do know some other ones that are blunt, and they're rude. On this show.
But look,
blunt and rude.
She has been that way, and she said she's been that way all her life. That she's always been outspoken. She's been an outspoken one. She's always going to speak her mind because she wants her truth. She doesn't want to live in that situation. Then she goes on and says that she's very grateful for the husband they matched her up with.
Yes.
Now, I know that wasn't the alcohol talking. That was Mirla talking.
Yeah.
Now, she didn't slur her speech, but she said she's very grateful for Gil. Because he's patient, because he's kind, because he's loving, because he loves her. And she said, I love my husband. Now, this is the first time we actually kind of hear her say, I love my husband.
Right.
To me, I was like, oh, that's a win-win. Like she's up there. She actually loved her husband.
Yeah, she said she got more than she expected. She got more than she expected. Which I'm so happy about that. She got past the bald head.
She got past the bald head. She got past the dog. She got past the financial situation, the financial issue that they was having. And so she was willing to connect with him, and that's what Gil says later on, that she was willing to grow.
Yeah,
she was willing to move, maneuver, and he said that last week when he was talking to his friend, that she was really able to do a 180 in this situation, because she came in with walls up. She came in guarded, and so now she's no longer guarded as she was, and she really appreciates Gil, and she's really in love with him, and that's when she starts to cry.
Oh, did she cry?
She starts to cry. I never thought I would be this happy. And the production sets you up, right? I knew it was, when they had her crying, you thought something was wrong. She was just crying.
I think I told you that.
Yeah,
I was like, nah, I think it's a good cry. And it was. It was. They have definitely, I think they've definitely grown on me. And I think they've grown on everybody. Because at first it was looking kind of sketchy. But as we've gone along, they've had like the least problems of any of the couples. She has.
They have had the least problems, and what happened was they finally meet up because after the meet with Dr. Pepper and the meet with Pastor Cal, they meet up, and Gil and Mirla, they set up and have a conversation. And now Gil knows she's tipsy, right? He's messing with her. He's kind of messing with her a little bit. He's moving the chair, sitting there, he's laughing like, you feeling good, ain't you? So he knows she's feeling nice, right? So I'm sure this is not the first time he's seen her tipsy, right? So he knows she's feeling good, and so he began to talk, and again, he began to discuss the things that Pastor Cal told him to discuss with her. At first I thought, why are you going to talk to her while she's drunk? But she's coherent enough to understand what's going on, And so he discussed what he said, I got something I want to talk to you about, and he talks to her about, I don't like it when you're being a Debbie Downer, because it changes my mood. I want to always be happy. I want to be upbeat. I want to have fun. I want to be joyous. I want to be, at the top level. But you're being a Debbie Downer, and it's changing who I am.
Well, yeah, he said he doesn't want it to get to the point where, it affects my mood. Because, as we know, Gil is very even-keeled. He's cool dude. I feel like it probably take him a lot to get upset, And so he's like, and his mood is usually upbeat, and so he doesn't want that to take him down. And so the alternative is like, what can we do when you're feeling that way? And he was like, you should be more affectionate. I thought that was funny. I'm like,
he's trying to throw that in there. He's trying to get extra hug, extra kiss. She's like, I am affectionate.
Don't nobody want to hug, kiss nobody when they upset.
What?
So it's really going to
a kind word turns away wrath.
Yeah, from the other person to the upset person. But what I'm saying is the upset person, 9 times out of 10, like when you in that space where you like feeling negative, whatever, you ain't gonna be like, oh, let me give you a hug, husband. Nobody does that. But she said, I'm affectionate. He's like, well, you be more affectionate when you feel that way. When you feel like, oh man, like I don't like this, I don't like that. Focus your attention on something else, basically, is what he was saying. Yeah,
that's what he basically was saying. And she mentioned that she is uncomfortable and unhappy, and that's when she's always, when she's
uncomfortable and unhappy, she gets more needy.
She gets more needy. She gets more needy, and she needs to be closer to him. And Gil said, look, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to make you feel better. I'm here to comfort you. I'm here to basically to be your rock. I'm here to help you out. And Gil just wants her to be considerate of other people's feelings. Be considerate of other people's feelings. Be considerate of how your mood affects other people. And later on we saw that when all of them got together, she really wasn't a Debbie Downer. She really was kind of even keeled. This is one of the first times that we've seen her in as a group. She even participated in volleyball. So you saw her really participate with them. So you can see that she's learning how to maneuver in that realm that Gil wants to maneuver in. So that was good for them. He wants her to, and we talked about the affection and how she wants him to give her a hug and all that. So, Gil and Mirla doing well.
Yes.
They're doing very well. Not major issues with them right now.
Nothing.
We would have thought this would have been one of the couples that they would have some problems. When you first saw them with the financial situation, how she was, I can say needy per se, but yeah, how she wanted attention and how she always told him no and all that. You thought they would be the one that was having some issues, but they don't have any issues as of right now. Not saying they won't have any issues, but right now they're good.
They're good.
They're good to go. All right, let's go. Who you want to go to next? Let's go, Jose.
The next less friction on this episode.
Jose and Rachel.
Yes.
Jose, I have a problem with Jose.
What's your problem with Jose?
Jose sits down with Dr. P and he starts lying. He goes on to say everything was fine, things were going well, things were going wonderful. Everything just got wonderful, Jose. He's not telling the whole story.
Well, I mean, he's not pulling the wool over on nobody's eyes. Because as Dr. Pepper says with several of the couples, you know, we're privy to what's going on.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't like, and she said this later, but while I'm thinking about it, I'm saying now. The one thing I don't like Dr. Pepper, basically what she said was, we hear about it.
Yeah.
Like, not from them.
The producers, you know, the producers
But
are
what I'm
talking all the
saying,
time.
but these are the experts that are supposed to be working and helping them. And you don't talk to the couples? Like, I thought that was, I'm like.
What they do when there's an emergency process. When there's an emergency or when there's somebody that needs to really get involved, to hop in. I'm sure they, just like we saw with Bao and Johnny, they got Pastor Cal on Zoom.
That defeats the purpose. I feel like if we're in this and we got the experts, I want them hands-on all the time. I do.
They should be, I mean.
And once a week. 2 times. I think, matter of fact, I think you should meet with each one of the experts in a week.
I can see that. I don't disagree with. I think the experts in a lot of these relationships should be more involved. But I guess what the experiment is, they want them to work out themselves or try to work the problem out themselves. But the experts should be like the lifeline for the help. They should be able to call them and get to navigate this relationship thing that they're in. You know?
But yeah, Jose on
his stuff. But Jose told Dr. P that him and Rachel are doing wonderful. That they are having to keep grow closer together. Yes, I had a hard time to get it out. Sorry, and it's live, so I'm not at no. They had a blah blah blah. You know, now they're having a hard time. They are having a good time growing together. They're growing together. Leave me alone. And they're doing everything. They're doing outstanding. Jose talks about being a provider and how he wants to be a provider, how he wants to take care of his wife, how, you know, sometimes it's hard for him to be in the middle ground. He always wanted a wife that he was able to provide, take care of, and be in charge. No, I want to say
control.
in charge. I ain't want to say in charge. I ain't want to say control.
Control.
Okay.
That's what's underneath that. In charge. It's a thin line between being in charge and being in control, like controlling. And Dr. Pepper said, "Sir, honestly, you come off controlling to me."
He does, because he figured, and this is what she said, you got all your stuff straight. You got all your stuff in a row. You got your stuff in order, and you think your way is the only the right way.
Yeah.
And you have never looked at it through Rachel's eyes. Because
she been living and making it since before you.
Right. And which, when you get married, I think that's one of the things you have to learn, that your spouse was
a man or a woman before y'all got together.
Before you got together. They were surviving. They were handling business. There were some things that they did well. And there were some things that they didn't do well. And so you have, as a married couple, you have to figure out what is it that we do well, and what is it that you do well, and what can we do well together. So in their relationship, he may be able to handle finances well, right? And so he handles the finances. She may be able to plan the trips well. So she planned trips, right? She might enjoy the summers because she want to have a hot girl summer. You know, Rachel just want to have her summer. So, but again, he may cook very well. She may do the laundry very well. So that's when the things have to come together. But he can't have control. He wants to control it. Everything she does is done the way that he wants it to be done. And Dr. Pepper said, you can't have that. No. You have to see it through the other person's eyes and see it through the other person's lens and know how it is. He said, I talk about, he said he's rough when it's conversation. That when he talks, when he gets mad and when he gets upset, he goes there. And we saw him go there. We saw him go there. He cursed her out. He told her to get out and all the other things. And so he said he had to learn how to control that. And he has to learn how to control to listen.
Bro, I think that is pitiful, me myself, that it took this because this is what it sounds like. It took this situation with this woman in this experiment for you to understand, whew, probably can't fly off the handle. That's not going to work.
No, it's not going to work, dog.
Bro, somebody should have told you that before.
Yeah.
Or what? Did you just ignore them? You know what I mean? Because this ain't the first time you flew off the handle.
Heck no.
and now that was the one thing that Rachel talked to Pastor Cal about that she wanted to really address with him. This situation when you locked me out the house, like, dude, you acted a plumb fool.
Yeah, before we get there, because the last thing Dr. Pepper asked him was, give me what thing that you don't like about Rachel, right? And he says, well, every time there's an argument, she's ready to leave. That she's ready to bounce.
And Dr. Pepper was like, yeah, I would too.
Yeah, she is.
Don't that make sense?
But I laugh because he said she's ready to bounce, but there's several times you put her out.
Yeah.
You told her to leave, get the F out of here, don't you come back, all this other stuff, and you told her she's ready to bounce, but it was all of the same, it came from the same argument when you told her to get out. So it's not like she's just making her own decision, you know what, I'm leaving, but you have told her to leave. You told her to bounce, hey, skedaddle, get out, move, and now she just obliged you, and now you're like, I hate, every time we argue, she wants to leave and run. You didn't care.
I'm going to leave before you tell me go.
This dude didn't care. He told her, look, matter of fact, what was funny, I think we laughed at that episode. He said, you want to help? There's some boxes out there in the closet. Like, there's some boxes in the closet. Go get the boxes out the closet and go pack your stuff and go. I'm not even going to help. I'm just let you go. Go get the boxes out the closet. It's okay if you want to leave.
Oh, really? You
want to leave, go ahead and leave. And so your issue with her is that she want to bounce, but you putting her out. Yeah. So Rachel meets with Pastor Cal, right? Rachel meets with Pastor Cal, and she says, the question she wants him to answer is, basically, what do you need from me? What do you need from me, Rachel, in order to make this relationship work and to make this happen? And then she wants to know, why did you lock me out?
But let me go back just a tad before that, because Rachel kind of put on the same air as Jose. He was everything I asked for. We're such a perfect match. I got a better husband. He showed his monkey behind, but it's okay. She should have added that. She didn't. I would have, but
right.
You buttering it up, sugarcoating it at first, and then the whole thing is there. But then you go back. I want to know why he locked me out.
And we get to the point, it's triggers. It's all about triggers. Rachel, we meet up, talk Pastor Cal, so ask him what's his triggers. What triggers him to go this far? What triggers him to want to lock you out, trigger to cuss you out? What is his triggers? Now, I think I know what Jose said. I believe Jose's triggers is whenever he doesn't get his way.
Probably.
Whenever he doesn't get it, when he doesn't even get his way, when he doesn't, when she gets a win over top of him, when she seems like, he said, we're both strong-willed people. We both come from strong families. We know that Rachel's daddy raised her to be independent. Jose has been independent. He has to find, look, it's okay to have an independent woman, and it's okay to be an independent woman and understand when your husband wants to take care of you. And they got to find that medium.
Yeah.
Because you can't be so independent that he can never do anything for you.
Right. Because what are we together for?
Yeah, what are we together for? And you can't be so overbearing that she can't do anything for herself. The whole brush your teeth and all that other stuff.
Controlling. Go ahead, say it.
It is controlling. She doesn't need you to brush her teeth. She brushed her teeth before you. She doesn't need you. She didn't need you to put her shoes on. She did that. So there's some of the simple things that he's trying to do. She doesn't need that.
Right.
And so that was one of the things. His trigger says one of the triggers not being able to cool off. He's not being able to cool. He needs some time and space to cool off. Which here I call foul, because he had time and space to cool off with the whole her calling her Johnny situation. But he still let it rock.
Maybe he need more time than that.
Maybe he needs more time than that. But again, is that a ploy though? Because when you get so much time and then you never revisit the issue, because there's a such thing as having too much time, where you just push it and slide it underneath the rug. and you forget about it, and then the next day or the next week or whatever case may be,
yeah, no, that's
you feel like you act like nothing happened.
A few hours later, after you done walked your madness off, you come back to it. Hey, you know, I didn't appreciate you calling me Johnny. Like, it took me there. I had a flashback. Don't really do cheaters. You know, I remember you talking about cheating. Like, my bad. You know,
but
I know you didn't mean it. I know you didn't mean to call me somebody else's name, but whew, that messed with me.
But you're a rational thinker. He's not thinking rationally in this situation.
Right then and there.
Right.
Again, he probably he gonna need a couple hours, cause it wouldn't be so many times he gonna try to bite my head off.
True. But then
and Rachel too, apparently.
Yeah.
Which I like.
I like
that she stood up for that.
Oh yeah, Rachel said she's not having that. But this is what he said. We finally got to the underlying issue of what it really is, his major trigger is. Underlying issue, what makes him go to the left, what makes him want to have total control, because he said, I want to do the opposite of what he saw from his parents. Mm-hmm. There it is. Dad must not have been the provider. Dad must not be taking care of things. Mom.
Well, what we do know is his mother and father aren't together.
Yeah.
His father has another wife. Mm-hmm. And his other wife is more like, he tell me do this, I'll be like, you know. So it probably was, and you know, not to be stereotypical, but we know a lot of Hispanic men are more domineering. They're in that control type of mode, and the Hispanic women may be a little more docile. Some of them, depending on, you know, what country they're from or whatever, and Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, whichever one you want to call it. So that's the culture. And so let's keep in mind, Jose Sr.'s mama, he got a white wife now. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit different. A little bit different. So I'm going to say, yeah, his dad probably definitely was like that with his mom, you know what I'm saying, a certain kind of way. And it didn't go so good, you know, rubbed the kids the wrong way too. So, yeah.
Look, I think they can make it, but he has to get over his anger and realize that he's not his parents. He has to be his own man. She has to realize that, and she has to maintain her standard that, look, you can't let him talk to you like this. Mm-hmm. You do have a mind of your own. You are very independent. You are very smart. And we're going to have to work this thing out together and try to figure it out. And I think the questions that Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper had them ask each other really helped expand their relationship or make them feel a little bit more comfortable, because he was able to share, and not only able to share, he was able to listen to her. Mm-hmm. And then she also had a voice, so which I thought was good there, that she had a voice. You know, and so he doesn't want his whole cheating thing up, because I'm guaranteed Dad probably cheated, and so he wants the opposite. He want to make sure he's been hurt, and he doesn't want that in his relationship, and he feels like, you know what? And my parents been divorced is the big one. My parents been divorced, and I don't want to be divorced, so I'm going to do everything I can to make sure my marriage is successful. So I'm going to be that husband that do everything. I'm going to wash the dishes. I'm going to take care of the clothes. I'm going to make sure I'm going to smooth. I'm going to make sure I'm be the provider. I'm going to be the protector. I'm going to be everything. And he's doing everything, but his wife feel like she's doing nothing. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so it has to be even.
Can't overcompensate.
Can't overcompensate. Yeah, he's overcompensating. So.
Yeah.
Jose and Rachel, not major issues.
Nope.
Good dialogue. Good conversation. Mm-hmm. Here we go. The final three.
It's starting to fall apart.
It's starting to fall apart. It's starting to fall apart. Stuff starting to run downhill.
We take you down the drain.
We taking you down the drain. Here we go. We're going next to Ryan and Brett, but we see Ryan. We can see Ryan before we even see Ryan and Brett. We see Ryan and Johnny. Mm-hmm. They're playing pool. We find out that Ronnie and Johnny are real close friends.
Ronnie and Johnny.
I said Ronnie.
Ryan and Johnny.
Ryan and Johnny. Sorry. Ryan and Johnny. Ricky and Mike. Okay. No, that's not New Edition. All right. It's Ryan and Johnny. We find out that Ryan and Johnny are real good friends, and they be bouncing stuff off each other. Now, you ever got that?
As soon as I saw it, didn't I say it to you? I was like, what they talking to each other for?
Yeah, you ever get that friend who's always negative? that they're your friend. They're your friend, but they always negative, and they try to give you bad advice. These two peas in a pod.
That's what I'm about to say. Not even that they're always negative, but bro, we in the same state. You can't give me no advice. We in the same predicament. You don't like your wife, I don't like mine.
And look, Ryan told him, yo, we both can't fake it anymore. I can't fake it anymore. That he has to be forcing, he has to be truthful, has to be honest. He'd been forcing it for a few weeks, and it wasn't real. He said, I'm not faking it anymore. It wasn't real. And even to the point where Johnny was like, man, he's so negative.
And, it was like, what? Dog, I didn't think it was like that. Like, it seemed like y'all was getting along pretty well. It looked like it was going good.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan was like, look, he's just chugging it. He's just chugging along. He's just trying to get along to be along. He doesn't want to be. He just said, I'm going through the motions. He's mentioned I am just going through the motions. Ryan gets to meet up with Dr. Pepper.
Hold on, before you go there though. Because Johnny also said, he came later and was like, maybe Ryan wasn't the best person to talk to. Duh.
Yeah, after you talk to your friends, you realize.
Duh.
He ain't it may not be a good idea. I'm trying, at least Johnny's trying to save something maybe. Ryan is like, I'm out. Ryan doesn't want to hurt her feeling. But let's get with Brett. Let's start with Brett first, then we'll come back to Ryan. Mm-hmm. Brett mentioned that she's okay. But she's okay. She met with Pastor Cal. Alright? She mentioned she will say yes if Brett changed. Mm-hmm. Pastor Cal, what will make you say yes? She said Brett changes. She said, the first couple of days were great. The honeymoon was great. Mm-hmm. The wedding was great. Spending time with our families was great. But then something happened and something changed where it just like everything fell off. The bottom fell out. And she's like, I can feel that, he's just going through the motions. Mm-hmm. And she's like, he's capable of giving me what I need, but he's not giving me what I need.
Right.
And for her, what do you do when the person's capable of giving you what you need, but they're not giving you what they need? I mean, what do you do in that situation? And that's where she's at. She's like, I like him. He ain't cussing me out or fussing, but guess what? He's not meeting my need emotionally. Mm-hmm. I know, and this is what shocked me. She said, I know I'm not his type.
Right. And he's not necessarily my type either. Yeah. But I'm able to get past that. We're not each other's type, but I'm not hung up on it. Mm-hmm. He's stuck on stupid, and he's stuck on that. He's stuck on it. Yeah, he's stuck on that. And look, and not only that, they're not doing anything intimate. Nothing intimate. No hugging. I think you said last week, you made the suggestion that they should be doing what Haley and Jake was assigned to do, to hold each other, to hold hands, to kiss each other every morning, to wake up. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, you know what? You should be an expert. You should be on the panel. Maybe you need to write that in. But you was right. They didn't have any intimacy. You don't see any intimacy between them two. And every time we see Ryan, he's always like he's stressed out. Oh my gosh, does he? Like
either he a heavy drinker or he is totally just stressed to the fullest. But stuff eats in you. When you have something to say and you never say it, it eats at you. And I think that's where he's at right now. He doesn't want to hurt her feelings, but I think that's what Johnny said too. Tell her the truth. Or what Zach said last week. You need to talk to her. Mm-hmm. You need to tell her the truth. So Pastor Cal says, look, he gives Brett this assignment. This is what I need you to do. I need you to tell Ryan, since y'all know that you're not attracted to each other that way, or you're not his type, tell Ryan to give you a picture of what it looks like. What is he attracted to? What he likes. Mm-hmm. And she was supposed to do that.
Right.
And we'll get back to that later. She was supposed to do that. She said the happiest time they've been has been on their wedding day. And on honeymoon. Pastor Kyle wants her to ask him, what will it take him to stay married to her? Mm-hmm. And what I don't like about Brett, she chickened out. Well,
but didn't Pastor Cal also tell her, when she said, something changed, she's supposed to find out what changed. What changed? What made the difference? Mm-hmm. And yeah, you're right. She did. She chickened out.
And when did he give up on the marriage?
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. What changed and when did you give up on the marriage? And she never asked him those questions, which I'm sitting here thinking, did you not want the answer? If you know it's a train wreck anyway. It's getting ready to hit the track, crash, and fall and burn. And she was scared to ask him the questions.
What's the point of talking to the experts if you're not going to put into practice, into action, put the plan into action?
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Ryan's checked out, and so as a result, Brett is checking out.
She's checking out. She's checking out. So Dr. Pepper asked Ryan the same question. I know your relationship's going sideways. We hear a lot of things.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one she said.
It's like, oh, we're privy. We hear stuff. I'm like, you should be hearing it from them.
Right. But we hear a lot of things. When did you give up on the marriage? Or when did things... And he was like, after we spoke to Dr. V. He said after he talked to Dr. V, after they met with Dr. V, it was when things went south. And he was like, I feel like it's not working. I feel like it's not working. I feel like it's not going to happen. I don't feel any spark. I don't feel any butterflies. I don't feel any jolt. I don't feel nothing with her. So I just basically gave up.
Again, how are you going to feel anything when you don't put yourself in the space to feel anything?
Mm-hmm.
I think I said this last week. You doing the opposite of Mirla. Mirla said, if I stay focused on the negative, then it'll outweigh the positive. It'll take me down a rabbit hole. And so that's where Ryan is. He's so calm, but she's too anxious. She's too this. I'm real even keeled. I'm calm. I'm finding myself being even more calm because she be on edge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he's so stuck on that. He's stuck on she's not, she's a redhead. She's not blonde hair, blue eyes. Let's be real. That's it too. You know what I mean? But he's not doing anything to feel no sparks. Like, you could at least try. How about act like you're on TV? You might need to do some acting.
I'm a good athlete.
Fake it till you make it.
Or not even fake it till you make it. Find something. Everybody has something that you like.
Fake it till you make it. You make it like I like it more than I do, and then maybe I actually will. Yeah. That's what they told them too. Y'all don't know each other.
You don't know each other. You
don't sit there. Now, when she talks to Alexa, Alexa said,
which is Ryan's sister.
Talked about how much y'all talk to each other. They're doing surface talking, like they haven't gotten deep at all.
No.
And I think that's what Dr. Viv had told them too. Have you dove deeper?
Get deeper into that conversation. Get deep into family.
Each other.
Find what makes each other tick.
Hey, why are you so nervous? Why you be so anxious all the time?
Why you be sweating buckets?
I'm here.
He be sweating buckets. Like, can I get you a tissue? Can I wipe your brow? Can I get you a handkerchief?
I got something for them under eye circles.
You know what? Let me get some cucumber and put on your eye. Let's do a facial because your eyes are drooping. Anything to connect them two together.
Because the tantric yoga did not work.
The tantric yoga, he was worried about the old man's scrotum. That he kept seeing more so than being in the tantric yoga with his wife. They're not. Dr. Pepper said, look, y'all don't know each other, and I need y'all to get to know each other. Y'all don't talk. You say you're trying, but you're not really trying. Find out when he gave up. The effort is not there. I need y'all to both put forth some effort. Put effort into this thing. Ryan talks about, I'm gonna start having a tough conversation with Brett.
Lies.
Well, I'm gonna have to have tough conversations with Brett. He admitted that he was avoiding saying the things because he didn't want to hurt her feelings.
That's the truth.
He admitted that he did not want to hurt her feelings.
Her feelings already hurt.
Her feelings been hurt.
That's what I'm saying.
Because she feels like
you might as well crush him all the way.
She feels like she's back in what she said before. I'm nice, but I'm not good enough. You good, you're okay to hang out with, but you're not good enough. She's in that friend zone with him. I don't even know if it's a friend. I can't even say friend zone. He's just he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. But by not wanting to hurt her feelings, he's hurting her feelings. He can easily just tell her, you know what, I'm not attracted to you. You know, we could be friends. Can we try or not try? You know, I'm just doing my 8 weeks so I get my check. Whatever case may be, she may.
So I don't get fired.
So you're right. So she may be able to accept the honesty from him, but she didn't. I like the fact that Brett's trying because she went to the sister. She said, you know him better than anybody.
She skirted the assignment. She was supposed to talk to him.
Yes.
She went to the next person closest to him, his sister, who he also used to live with. So it's one thing when you live with a sibling growing up as opposed to living with them as a grown up. Okay? And so she knows Ryan probably better than most people. And yeah, so she went and talked to Alexa, like, you know, and Alexa told her before, you're going to have to crack that shell open. Are you used to pulling it out of somebody? She told, am I lying? She told Brett that from the jump.
Yeah, she did. She
that
told
he was a hard nut to crack, that he doesn't share often. He has a problem with his emotions, you know what I'm saying? And so she would have to do some work. And so what Brett tells her is, I noticed there something changed.
Yeah.
I don't know what changed. I don't know what it was. They talked about when did it change. When we came back from the honeymoon. She said, oh, so when you basically got out of the fantasy world and came back to the real world. And not just to the real world, but back home to Houston. Back to your job. Back to people and surroundings you're familiar with. And so Alexa basically was like, listen.
I think he got somebody. It's something
else.
He's
distracted. I'm thinking he's probably distracted. Because this what happened. Okay, I'm not attracted to my wife. Man, I sure do wish. I remember that last girl I was dating. Yeah, she wasn't all that. Yeah, I sure would like to talk to her. She might have texted him.
She might have, but he's not attracted to her. He's not getting any intimate feelings from her. No love, no hugging, kissing. And you're back home in your surroundings. And Ryan looked like a guy that he was used to getting some, right? Or he used to being there, having that affection all the time. So he not getting the affection and stuff that he needs. He may be creeping. His sister recognized it, that he may be creeping on the side, that he may be doing some extracurricular activities. Again, they're sleeping in separate rooms.
But you're not going to get that affection. You ain't giving it. What are you doing to make her want to be affectionate when she knows that you ain't attracted to her?
But he doesn't want to sleep with her because, again, he doesn't want to be...
I ain't talking about sleeping.
He doesn't want to get connected. He doesn't want to be the bad guy. He doesn't want to say, you led me on and you did all this. And look how Jake was the bad guy last season. He slept with Haley. Or Haley slept with Jake. Whichever way you want to put it. Right? And it's like, oh, it wasn't good enough. And so now, if he does that to her, it's like, it's bad. It's not a good look. So if he has sex with her and say, you know what, it's not good, and he treat her bad, then he's public enemy number one.
Yeah.
You know, so he's, again, he recognizes, he's smart enough to recognize, I'm on a TV show, and so let me not look too bad. I know I'm going to look bad, but I don't want to be, I don't want to be Chris. Right? I love Chris, but I don't want to be Chris. Right? He doesn't want to be that guy. And so... But he is being.
But I think in this space, it wouldn't necessarily be leading her on. You're trying to get those feelings. You're trying to feel that out. Because again, we've said this before. They said it on the show. If what you were doing before was working, you wouldn't need Married at First Sight. You'd be married.
You'd be married.
You would have somebody.
True.
So why not try something different? I can't stand it when they come on the show and they want to do the same thing they did before. It didn't work.
Because they don't like the person they're with. You're willing to change and adapt when you with the person that you like. When you're not with a person, what you're thinking, again, you're like a man in jail. When do I get released? Right? When do I get out? And he's thinking right now, when do I get out? Okay, I'm going to set my hookups up. All right, we got 8 weeks. I got decision day. I got the reunion. I'm contractually done. Okay, when I'm done here, I'm calling Sally or Sue or whoever. I'm gonna hang up, and some people don't even care. Look what Matt did. Matt didn't even care from Charlotte. Matt was hooking up with people while he was still married to Amber. You know, so at least he's trying to wait it out. We'll find out if he's trying to wait it out or not. But they never have a conversation.
Neither one of them do. They didn't understand the assignment.
They didn't understand the assignment. You have experts. Experts give you advice. You don't use the advice that they give, and you expect your relationship to change.
But like you said, I was like really done with Brett.
Yeah.
Because she pulled a Ryan, how he be humming. She basically did that. He was like, "So how was your talk? How was your talk?" And she was like, "What y'all talk about?" No. She never said nothing.
She never really said nothing because she's checking out. She doesn't look at this point. She doesn't really want this relationship.
So
she doesn't really want to fix it.
But if that's the case, don't talk to his sister then. Don't talk to his sister. Don't talk to nobody then.
But there's some. Let me say this. I'm gonna put it this way. There's some days that she may not want the relationship, and there's sometimes you want to figure out can this be my last straw? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna throw a Hail Mary. I'm gonna try to get it I'm trying to get it taken care of. And I'm gonna do this. This is my last straw. This is my Hail Mary. I'm gonna try to find out. So the sister's the Hail Mary for her, and she's trying to get it to work out. And the sister's kind of let the cat out of the bag. This is my brother, and this is what he likes to do. I mean, that's basically what she said. Like, without saying it, there's something else going on, and you're gonna have to find out what else is going on. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna tell you, but you're gonna have to find out what's going on.
She probably knows.
Because at the end of the day, he's still my brother, right?
Mm-hmm. She probably
and
knows.
So I heard a conversation with mom and dad or whatever the case may be. He's pulled a Zack a couple times, stayed at his own apartment, right? You know, hey, you never know who may come visit him at his apartment when he goes there. But nonetheless, Brett and Ryan, right now they're a mess.
A whole mess.
They're a whole mess. They need help. It's not going to work out.
And they're a mess in a way of it's just a lack of trying, no effort.
But she does things that turn him off. And let's not forget that when he showed the room,
but he also don't give her a chance to turn him on.
Nobody likes a nasty woman. And that room and all her stuff thrown all over the place, that's a big turn off for guys. That is a big turn off for a dude. If you want to turn a dude off, let him come to your house and just stuff all over the place.
Well, how about, again, so say something to her. Say something to her. He's not even talking to her about that. He said, I think when he was talking to Johnny, or it might have been when he met with the expert, again, he said, I think she knows. She should know. Mm-hmm. Don't be assuming nobody know nothing. Because we know how you spell assume. Mm-hmm. Don't be assuming.
Yeah.
You say it so there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Tell her, you're nasty and dirty. Not like that. But, hey, how about I help you clean up in the room?
Let me help you. Let me show you the standard. This is what I like. No,
don't say that. No.
Don't say the standard.
Don't say, let me show you the standard. But, hey, again, just like Clara did it with her Ryan.
Right.
She was like, oh, let me show, I learned this folding pattern, and if you do this, da-da-da-da-da. She didn't cut him down about it. She was like, whoo, that shelf ain't even, I can help you with it. That shelf is like that. She was like, I can help you with this. So Ryan should be like, hey, let me, because like her or not, as a person, you can't help her, suggest and help her clean up. Come on, bro.
All right, let's go.
That daggone Bao and Johnny.
Let's go to Bao and Johnny. Bao and Johnny. We said with you earlier that Johnny had a conversation with Ryan. They was talking. He said, look, I'm tired of Bao. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of the performance. I'm tired of everything that's going on. What should I do? Ryan gave him some bad advice. It's some negative advice. He like some negative things to do. So we see Bao and Johnny. Then Johnny gets home. Mm-hmm. He tells Bao that he was hanging out with Ryan. And that Ryan was
not the best decision.
And probably not the best decision. And Ryan
to talk to Ryan.
Yeah, and that Ryan was negative. Mm-hmm. And so Bao talks to Johnny about trust, communication, and friendship. Johnny, those are things that he wants.
And is lacking for him.
And that is lacking right now for him. That he's lacking trust. He's lacking communication. He's lacking friendship. And those are things that he's lacking, and that's the thing he needs to make their relationship stronger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Bao kind of said, you know, I need some emotional intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
I need some things that was good. Our emotional intimacy is declining. Johnny shared that he doesn't feel it anyway. He doesn't feel it any time. He doesn't feel it anyway. Now, first of all, as a dude, don't never, and as a woman, never say that. They talk about intimacy, which means they're talking about sex. And he said, I'm just laying there, I'm doing it. Basically, he was like Color Purple. I'm just letting there and let you do your business. And I'm not feeling it. I'm not into it. I'm not feeling it.
I didn't take it that that's what he meant.
I took it that way.
I took it like, so, no, I'm into the act.
But I'm not into you.
Right. I'm not, it's not connecting me at all. We just going through the motions. I'm getting mine. You might be getting yours. I feel like Johnny's the type to
Wasn't
be like,
it Cat Williams in one of those Friday movies? He said, I don't want no wet fish. No, it wasn't Cat Williams. It was, Cat Williams was laid out on the floor in the bathroom, right? And Damon was in there, all right? Terry Crews. And he threw the water on him and woke him up. Said, I would like my fish squirming, you know? Nobody wants no wet fish that's laying there and just sitting there. And so, that's what she's getting from him. And so he wants, remember, he used to be the one that wanted the intimacy, right? And so now it's reversed that she wants the intimacy and he's not willing to give it, or if he's giving it, he's not being a part of it and not fully involved or invested in it. Because he talked about a couple weeks ago, Bao wants sex, you know, once a day or sometimes twice a day. Johnny bounced back and forth. Mm-hmm. He doesn't know what he wants. I really think Johnny's bipolar.
Well, but the other thing is, we have to understand that there is a difference between having sex with somebody and really being intimate. That's, you know, it's a connection with your emotions and your feelings.
Yes.
So the other thing that they talked about when Johnny mentioned about having the friendship and building a foundation of friendship, Bao's concern, which is understandable, is, but I don't want to get into the friend zone. I don't want to be so friendly that we end up in the friend zone, because that's not where we're supposed to be going.
We're probably married.
Right.
They have to find the balance between the two.
You be friends as a married couple, but
understand the balance.
Yeah.
Understand the line. We're friends. We're great friends. We laugh and joke all the time. I'm the worst office mate that you can have.
He's terrible.
When you're doing work and I'm at my desk in the office.
On his phone on the speaker.
Because I can't find my headphones all the time. I can't be finding my headphones.
Cube mate is terrible.
Hey, the office is big enough for both of us. But nonetheless, let's not talk about us. Let's leave us alone in our cube. But no, Johnny said he's taking, Bao was like, you don't want to take sex off the table. You took it off the table. You said that you didn't want to have sex anymore. You didn't want it. You want to be intimate. You want to have the conversation. You want to communicate. You want us to be intimate. But you took it off the table. But this is what I want. Mm-hmm. Again, those controlling behaviors. Again, that's controlling behavior. You're taking everything off the table, think this is going to fix your relationship. Well, the communication is what's going to fix your relationship. But if you're not communicating and y'all not showing not showing love and kindness to each other, how do you expect to fix the relationship? Right.
And the conversation got a little too hot and heated for Johnny, and Johnny does what Johnny does best. So I need to take a break. I need to just.
That was after Bao called him out. When Bao said, you know what, you want all this, but you're not putting in any work. Mm-hmm. You want all this right here, but you're not willing to put the work in to get it. You just wanted it to be a cookie cutter thing. I come home, say, yes, I got you, yes. Yeah, whatever you say, Johnny, whatever you do.
Whatever kind of food you like.
Whatever kind of food you like. But he's not willing to put in the work for her to meet her needs. We talked about, off camera, we talked about meeting the person's love language. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And whatever their language is, the other person really have to meet that in order for the relationship to grow. And she's willing to meet his love language, but he's not willing to meet hers. And and that's one of the things that's been that Bao feels like, look, I've been giving, and you've been taking, but you're not giving anything back. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's a problem when you're in a relationship, and your spouse or your mate, the person you're dating, feel like they giving all and not receiving anything.
Yeah. They talked about, Johnny talked about what the foundation he wants it to be, and that Bao is kind of tearing down the foundation. and you know, Bao says, you know, I'm not sure our relationship will work, because you really not trying to work it. You got more complaints than you got solutions.
Yeah, it came in. I mean, they both come in different ways. I mean, you come in, again, when you come into a marriage, you're coming from different backgrounds, you come in different mindsets, you come in with different experiences, and you have to meet somewhere in the middle. And I think when he got to meet with Pastor
Dr. Pepper.
he met with Dr. Pepper, she kind of told him that this, and Pastor Cal told him that last week, you have a mind of what you want a woman to be like, and that's not it, dog. He was better off trying to build...
Especially not in this process.
No.
Mm-mm.
You know, he was better off trying to build a robot woman than trying to be with a human, basically. Yeah, because he's being with Bao. All right.
Not arf.
So what happens here, Johnny shares that with Bao is like a person he doesn't want to be. You know, he doesn't want to be with Bao.
When he's with Bao, he's not the person that he wants to be.
Yeah.
He's somebody else.
Here's my problem with that. You make yourself somebody else when you with another person. She doesn't make him be mean, nasty, and talk to her out of the side of his mouth or outside of his neck. He chooses to be that person. She doesn't make him that person. That's what's already inside of you. What's inside of him comes out when he with Bao because he chooses to let it come out. Because he knows he can let it come out with her and nobody is going to say anything. But he said on Unfiltered that she does a lot of things to him off camera as well. And says a lot of slick things to him off camera as well. And Michaela second that. Now, we don't know, Michaela may have some alternative motives and different reasons why she's second that.
She might be bitter.
She might be bitter, but she kind of second it. Yeah, Bao says this stuff to us, us girls all the time about Johnny.
Was like, yeah, does Bao ever talk down about Johnny to you? And she was like, oh yeah, all the time.
All the time. You know, she was talking about they want Johnny to apologize.
Yeah, because Dr. Pepper was like, you know what? It's one thing to express your discontent, but just to be mean and nasty. Come on.
Yeah, to be mean and nasty, that's not right. She wants, and he told her, you need to apologize to Bao, basically. And Johnny, you know, I was wrong. He does apologize later. He tells Bao, you know, I was wrong.
But then he went right back behind.
Yeah, he went right back. He apologized and went right back into
foolishness.
The foolishness that he apologized for. Johnny says that he's trying to fix the problem. Do you think he's trying? Do y'all think Johnny's trying?
I'ma always go back to, because besides real life, but outside of the show, but on the show, I keep going back to Mirla because she said it and it applies to all of these couples. You make a choice in life. We make a choice what our actions will be. How we'll react to something. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to be biblical. The scripture says, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are of good report, whatsoever things that are kind, whatsoever. We have to focus on the what. If there be any praise, focus on those things.
You do have to.
You got to focus on those things, and you make a choice to do that.
Yeah.
You make a choice to do that. We've all been in a relationship, at work, at school, and in a situation. You have a choice either to lose it, to act a donkey, or to act like you got some home training.
Yeah.
You have a choice in that. You have a choice. Johnny, stop. You have a choice. In that moment, you know how you are. In that moment, that's a sign of maturity. You stop and be like, that's not, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think we should say that right now. But what Johnny's doing, I believe that voice is telling him, nah, don't say that. And he like, forget you.
Push past, though. He pushed past. Johnny said this. He said he doesn't want to fix the problem. He wants to fix the source. And we had a conversation about that, but the problem in the source. I think if you find out what the source is, it will fix the problem. I do agree with that, but I think sometimes the little problems, the little fires, put those out before you get to the blaze, right? Put those little fires out, because when you get to the blaze, the blaze is going to take all your attention. The main thing is going to take all your attention, and they haven't figured out what the source of their situation is. The source is, to me, he just doesn't like her. He just doesn't like her. So, you know, we mentioned Dr. Pepper told him that, you know, you need to strive for communication, that you need to go talk to her, you need to stop being mean to her, you need to show her respect, and in other words, you need to be loving, show her loving kindness, and, you know, and be close knit with her. Bao meets with Pastor Cal.
Oh, speaking of which, I did want to say this too. Johnny said going into meeting with Dr. Pepper, he feels better than he did when they met with Pastor Cal on the computer,
right?
You know, virtually, because he felt more prepared. He was ready to talk. Then he wasn't ready to talk to Pastor Cal, but he's ready to talk to Dr. Pepper. I want to throw that in. So Bao, they've already had a conversation with Pastor Cal before, so this is really kind of just a follow-up for her.
Yeah.
You know, going to talk to Pastor Cal.
And, you know, and she says, when she sat down, she said, look, I'm checked out. I'm done. She's like, I'm done. I'm checked out. Look, Johnny, what he says to me cuts. What he says hurts. And guess what? I'm just tired. I'm tired. You know, she says she does like Johnny. But she's not basically like Rachel. I'm not gonna let anybody talk to me like that.
Right.
I'm not gonna give in to him. I'm not gonna let him talk to me like that. You know, she said, I think Johnny's already 80% out anyway. And that what we see on camera, what you see is just the 20% trying to save face, trying to get the relationship right. But I think Johnny's 80% out. And that he's only my husband on paper. That's rough from where they were. From where they were at to where they're at now, in a matter of days or weeks on the show. It's like
they be good. Man. They be getting some actors on the seasons late. Like I just be like, where y'all find these people? Where you find these people?
She said this. She said he cuts her down daily. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be with anybody who cuts me down daily. You're going to have, if we talking about Johnny talking about rebuilding a foundation, let's use his analogy. You want to rebuild a foundation, right? One thing I know about foundations, that you have to dig that thing out if it's broken, and you have to fix it, and then you have to build back up. Well, cutting her down daily is not building your foundation up to your relationship. Cutting her down daily is not you're trying to break her, but you're not doing any building. Where's the compliments? He wants compliments. He wants affection. When do you think she wants affection and compliments? I mean, they went bowling. She finally, you know, he tells, I think we missed that part. He talks to, when he talked to Ryan, that she did go bowling. She started doing things daily with him.
Yeah, they're doing the dates.
The dates, different dates, and he likes that and like being competitive, even though Bao doesn't like sports and all that. And he was like, she's doing that, but it's like she's forcing herself to do it.
Right.
Because you ask.
Right.
It's like he's not happy, and that's the problem. He's not happy with anything she does, and it becomes a cut to him, and it becomes a cut to her. He's cutting her down. If he says, you know what, Bao, I need you to cook me dinner, she's cooking dinner. And he's
got something to say about that.
He's not happy about that. So it's like, at this point, Johnny is 80% out. He's not happy about anything that Bao does. Nothing at all. Pastor Cal asked him, tells Bao, look, I need you to go ask Johnny, was he ready to be married? Now, this is why I like Pastor Cal. I like Pastor Cal. Dog, this question that you had her go ask him, they already had this conversation. She already knows that he wasn't ready to be married. So what is she going to get out of this? I didn't understand when he said, I didn't understand that. To go ask Johnny, was he ready to be married? She already knows that he wasn't ready to be married. He's already told her that. I need you to ask him, if I'm Pastor Cal, look, Bao, I need you to go ask Johnny, are you in or are you out? Let me know today, because I need to know for the next 3 weeks how to carry it.
Yeah.
You know, you from
Miss
Baltimore.
Tony said, how you want to carry
from Baltimore, you know,
Miss
club
Tony
music.
said, how you want to carry
Miss Tony said, you know, how you want to carry it, right? It's a club song.
What's up?
I need to know. How you want to carry it for the next 2 weeks? Are we going to carry it, try to work on this thing? Or are we going to carry it?
Are we just going to go through the motions?
Or we're going to go through the motions? Because I'm not here for the motions. I'm here for marriage. And it's not in a confrontational type way. But look, I need to know which way to go. And same thing with Johnny. Johnny needs to say, Bao, how are we going to carry this? And Bao needs to lay out expectations. Okay, this is what I'm going to tolerate. This is what I'm not going to tolerate. If you want to be married to me, this is how I need to be treated. And this is how we're going to work this thing out. And not in a hostile type way, but in the midst of conversation. But Pastor, to ask him, was he ready to be married? Man, come on, Pastor Cal.
I got to jump to that. Can we jump to that? And so Bao asked him, were you ready to be married? He said, yes, I was ready to be married. But I was ready to come in with a clean slate. And he said, when you came down the aisle, I already knew you. It wasn't so.
Yeah.
So that made it hard for him. Because he wanted something, well, he didn't want somebody he already knew, already had experience with in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. But I understand that. That's when he wanted something new, and I really understand that. I mean, but when he saw Bao, he like, okay. What he told her was, it didn't work in 15 years. I had 15.
He said, I've known you for 15 years. We only had, that's why we didn't have a second date.
Yeah.
Because I just wasn't that much into you.
I wasn't that much into you.
Just not into you.
Just not into you. Now, and this is after he apologized. So again, he cuts. Again. And she's sitting there looking.
Man, she looked broken.
She looked that really broken right there.
She looked broken.
Yeah.
But I wish she had been broken to the... Yeah, I'm terrible, y'all. I wish she had been broken to the point where when she lowered her hair, she got up and she said, ah! And threw the chair.
You want to flip tables?
Yes, sir.
You want to throw stuff, throw chairs. Flip tables.
Yeah, I did.
Put hands on them.
I wanted her to, like... I hate that she always looks so defeated.
Right. It's not good.
I hate that she always looks so defeated. And so yes, I do. I want her to win right there. I want to show Iron Woman, hear me roar.
Hear me roar. And I do too. She doesn't look defeated. And
that hurt my feelings. Ain't nothing worse than seeing your homegirl beat down. How Joker just wearing you down. He just hurt your feelings every time he get a chance.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, for him to say, Bao says this, that, he said on Unfiltered, she says this to me. How much of that is her getting back at you for the foolishness you be saying to her?
Yeah,
I don't blame her.
I felt for
I don't think she starts it. You started, and when she tried to finish, then you mad.
I felt bad for Bao because she had to sit there and listen to that. And this is
I ain't sitting there.
No, but this is the second week in a row. Let's go back to last week. I could have been with anybody. You should have selected anybody else except for her. I need all the people who stepped up and rode for Paige last season to step up and ride for Bao. Because that's, to me, that's hurtful. That's mean spirited. That's evil. There's many other ways you could have said it. Like, you know, one of the reasons I didn't call you back, you know, I didn't think I really had a chance. I really wasn't into you. But through this process, the expert matched us to be married. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the process, and I might have been wrong all this time. So I'm going to go through the process and try to love you. I'm going to go through the process and try to connect with you. And guess what? If it does not work, guess what? It does not. At
least I tried.
At least I tried. And that's my problem with Johnny. He's not really fully trying.
Just like his friend Ryan.
Right. If it's not going to work, give me 8 weeks of trying, right? If you give 8 weeks to try it and it does not work, at least you can say, you know what, I gave it my all and it did not work out. Not saying that you're going to, you know, you compromise on who you are, your standards, but guess what? In marriage, there is some compromise. And we don't know each other. So we're going to date. This is amazing. This show's been going on for years, and all these people who are on this show never really watched the show. Whatever case may be, if you watched it, you would know I'm going to have to date this person for 8 weeks.
Yes.
And then in the midst of the dating, we're still married legally, but I'm going to date them for 8 weeks. And when you find the couples that do that, the you know, Mirla and Bennett, even though they're divorced, whatever reason, the Monties and Woodies, the Beths and Jamie even, the Greg and Deanna, they dated each other and they begin to find the common ground they had, and that's why their marriages are where they're at now, because they understood the process. Johnny doesn't understand the process. He's not willing to the process. He has in his mind what his wife should look like, feel like, talk like, and be like. And Bao doesn't check every one of those boxes, and so he is not going to be there with her because she doesn't check one of the boxes. I don't think this couple will make it. I know a couple weeks ago we said it would make it. At this point, I think they're at a point of no return. I don't think she can say yes, and if she does say yes, there's a problem. And I definitely know he's not going to say yes. He has literally broke her, and you can see it in her face.
I want her to go with Chun-Li.
I don't know if you can say that.
Yes, I can.
So you want to go Street Fighter?
I would absolutely.
Okay. Oh man,
get him.
She's really hurt right now. So, let's get to the train wreck, y'all.
I mean, that one was a train wreck.
That's a train wreck.
But this one, again, Johnny and Bao. Johnny be self-sabotaging.
He does.
And here go Michaela and Zack be self-sabotaging.
Because he's like Zack. He's like Ryan. He doesn't want to tell her, I'm not really into you.
No, he does
tell her.
He does tell her, but he does not say it in a constructive way.
But he flops. He flops back and forth. Johnny flops back and forth. Maybe he's good when he wants sex, and maybe he's not this time. Maybe he wants the companionship. Maybe he don't. Maybe he's trying because it's TV. He doesn't want to look bad. He flops to me a lot.
You comparing, again, we have the comparison between Chris and Paige and Bao and Johnny. And I'm going to say the same thing we said about Chris. I'm going to say it about Johnny. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Johnny is double-minded.
He is.
And therefore, he's unstable.
He's unstable. I'm not gonna knock that. He's unstable.
To me, the next person's somewhat unstable too.
Gotcha.
Both of them. But more so, tonight, I feel like we saw it more with Zack.
We did.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right. Michaela sits there and she meets with Pastor Cal. All right. Michaela sits and meets with Pastor Cal. Michaela mentioned that her and Zack had their moments early in the marriage, and that they're, they're having an up and down. That they're all together right now. They're working on their marriage. Their marriage is, she wants.
It's on the up and up.
It's on the up and up. Basically on the up and up, and she wants honesty and she wants truthfulness in the marriage. Which I don't think she feels she's getting. She's not getting the honesty or the truthfulness in her marriage. Michaela meets with Pastor Cal and shares that her and Zack have been good for about a week, and then they have been confusion for the other 4 weeks of their marriage. Out of their marriage, they only been good for about a week. Now the confusion has been a lot of other things that go on. It could have been the COVID situation. It becomes the dance situation. It's become the anger situation that she showed, that she displayed towards him. It's the text messages that she sends him. It's the cursing that she does towards him. We may not see all of it on TV, but if you watch Unfiltered, she says, I call him and we have conversations. We have text messages and all that. So she does some things outside of camera to him, and he feels some type of way about her. And he I think both of them, we talk about her abusing him. I think they both feel like the abuse is both ways. Verbally both ways. That he kind of manipulates her into abuse her that way, and she verbally abuses him because of her abandonment issues. If you watch Unfiltered, she mentioned she has abandonment issues. Alright? She think they were matched because they were both goofy, that they're both strong-headed, and both likes a challenge, and they're both ambitious. Now, she has 2 out of 3 right. Alright? They're both strong-headed, and they're both very ambitious. Now, I'll give it 3. They are goofy.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to navigate through that, though. They don't know how to navigate through the goofiness and the being strong-headed and how to compromise. They need to learn how to compromise in their relationship. And that's one of the biggest issues for them. They don't know how to compromise. And there are a lot of unanswered questions in their marriage.
She talked about, and she talked to him about this before too, Zack. She said, I want happy Zack. I think we'll be okay if happy Zack will come back. And, she says, but at the same time, her and Pastor Cal talk about not being responsible for his happiness. She wants him to be happy. But Pastor Cal put in perspective, no, you don't completely own his happiness, but you do play a role in it.
Yeah.
You do play a part in it.
Big part.
He was like, I don't want to have the job of making my wife happy. I want my wife to be happy, but I do want to play a role in it.
Yes.
So he was like, I need you to get back into trying to make them happy. Don't take the onus on yourself. But that's how we're going to bring the Happy Zack back. Both of y'all have something to do with that.
We both have to play a role. You're going to have to be Miss Good Wife. Listen, meet his needs. Control your anger, your temper. Talk to him what you need when you feel like you're angry and you're upset. What are some of your triggers? Mm-hmm. So you're going to have that conversation with him and find out, okay, Zack, what is it that you need from me to make you get to that place where we feel comfortable? Back to I think they always want to go back to the honeymoon or back to square one or back to the wedding day. They always want to go back to that. That's when they were happy the most. Yeah.
Pastor Cal said her assignment to him is, I ask him, what is it that I can do to create a safe space? And he didn't use it this time, but he said this in other seasons. You want to be for your spouse a soft place to land. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Pastor Cal said, find out from him, what can I do to create a safe space for you?
Yeah, what they need to be a safe space. And that, again, that they both, it is not just her responsibility, but it's his responsibility as well. That they need to work together to make this place or this space real safe. They need to work together on here. Zack said, he said that things started up pretty well. They had issues and they worked through a lot of the issues.
When Zack met with Dr. Pepper.
When Zack met with Dr. Pepper. They worked through a lot of the issues and now they're in a good place now. Are they really in a good place now?
No.
This is
it's better than it's been.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's better.
Let's say today we in a good place.
Right, but no. All seriousness, in their relationship, they do have to take it day by day.
Yes, absolutely.
They might even have to take it by minute by minute or hour by hour to be in their relationship. So I'm not knocking what he said, but again, to me, these are surface answers. When I'm meeting with the experts, I don't want surface answers, or I'm not trying to give surface answers. If I go to a therapist or a counselor, hey doc, I'm mad because she didn't fix me no juice when she went downstairs. Whatever case may be, I'm not talking about you. All right?
Because we don't have no juice.
No, we don't do juice, so it don't make a difference. I'm mad. I'm mad because she didn't do this, or I'm mad because she responded to this. Oh, not that we're good now. Well, tell me when you wasn't good. So this is what I wanted, Dr. Pepper. Tell me when you wasn't good. Zack mentioned that he feel like things are meant to be, and things are meant to be. And Dr. Pepper said, well, I know that things are meant to be, but there's opportunities that you have to take.
Yeah.
Even if there's things that you think there are some things that are meant to be, you're going to have to work at it to make it better. And are you willing to put in the work to make it better? You should make the best out of the opportunity. I don't think Zack is making the best out of the opportunity.
No.
I don't think Michaela is making the best out of the opportunity. I think both of them have already checked out of the situation.
Well, I don't think they've checked out, but and I think they said this before, when it's bad, it's bad.
And when it's good,
it's good, it's good. So they kind of
they're up and down.
Yeah.
They're up and down. Michaela said, Michaela, I want Michaela to be herself. He said, Zack said, I want Michaela to be herself. I don't want her to feel like she's walking on eggshells.
Right.
Well, again, he creates the environment. She said it on Unfiltered. He creates the environment that I have to walk on eggshells because he feel like he's a perfectionist. And when I don't fit in that perfectionist bubble that he wants, he goes off or he feels mad.
That's what he talked to Dr. Pepper about. He realized in this situation that I'm a perfectionist. I always am my number one critic. I can't do anything right to please myself. And I'm taking that perfectionist attitude into a relationship, in particular into this marriage, and I'm projecting that onto the other person where they can't ever do anything right either. And that's when he got all emotional. He's like, started sounding like he had cotton in his mouth. I'm not messing with him. But, because they laughed about that later. Yeah, I had a crying moment again.
Yeah.
But, you know, he got all emotional. He was like, you know, I don't want it to be that way.
Yeah.
But then he turned around and he did it again. But
he doesn't want it to be that way, but he doesn't know how to handle it when it's not, again, perfect. He doesn't know how to handle it when something mess up. Newsflash for anybody want to get married. Your marriage is never going to be perfect. There are going to be some ups and downs. There are going to be some ebbs and flows. There are going to be some things in your marriage that are not going to work out right.
Just right for y'all.
They're going to be just right for y'all. There are going to be some things in your marriage. Your husband may lose his job. Your wife may lose a baby. There's some things that are not going to go perfect. There's something that's going to happen, and your spouse needs to know that you can be the rock. Mm-hmm. We both can't be emotional. We both can't be, up there and high and low, and we both gonna have to know how to talk to each other. And they haven't learned how to talk with each other yet. And Zack is also and not only just talk to each other, be truthful with each other.
Yeah.
To be truthful and share your feelings and share your emotions. And I don't know about anybody else. I like Zack as a person, but I'm tired of seeing Zack cry.
Yeah. Because it comes off fake.
It does come off like production. To me, tears with no change doesn't mean nothing to me. You're crying because you're sorry, or you're apologetic, and you want to make a different maneuver. You want to change. And I'm not one of the people that say men can't cry, because I believe men can cry. Mm-hmm. But when men cry, there should be a healing process after that. And so it takes place. Zack tells Michaela about him being a perfectionist, and that's why a lot of their issues or a lot of problems are in the relationship because of him. He wants to work it out.
And no, but that's their issue. But he realized his past relationships didn't work because of that too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so they're sitting at the table. And this is where it gets kind of good. They're sitting at the table, and Zack is talking about how he wants to change. And Michaela's like, okay, how do you want to change? And he can't tell her. He can't explain it. He don't know how. He wants to still be there. He wants to still be in a relationship, but he cannot explain it to her. At all. There's a problem with Zack. Mm-hmm. Zack mentioned that a marriage was being in a house. She asked him what was marriage. Being in a house with a wife, listening to music, cooking breakfast, having someone that makes him feel like he's unconditionally happy. Mm-hmm. But it goes back to Pastor Cal. She can't make you unconditionally happy. You're gonna have to make yourself unconditionally happy. There's some things that she can do that you appreciate, she can contribute to it, but it's gonna have to be you. And I don't think he's ready for that. Michaela mentioned that she hears him, but she still has some walls up. And he
seemed kind of shocked. You still got walls up? Yeah, I do.
She still got walls up because she don't trust him. Anytime you want to take your ball and run home, you told me you're going to get the Apple TV, you're going to watch a movie, and you went home and stayed there. And when somebody say, well, that's petty. That's not petty. It's the simple things that build trust in relationships. You know what? I'll be home at 6 o'clock. I'll be home at 7:30. I'm going to call you. You know what? I'm going to the grocery store before I come home. Would you like anything? Those things build trust in relationships. That's what it does.
If Renaissance man means he's soft. I'm looking at this comment. Yeah, he's soft. But yeah. So
she mentioned again, she doesn't feel Zack feels the same way she does.
Right.
I think Michaela's all into this marriage. She wants to be into this marriage. She wants to have a husband. But again, neither one of them have had long-term relationships.
Right.
And we can see why serious long-term relationship, and we can see why neither one of them have had serious long-term relationship. Michaela had a butt buddy. Zack had been in a marriage had been in a long relationship with 6 months. Again, that does not work. Why haven't you been in long-term relationships?
I was trying to remember last night what we were talking about when I said something about that, but that's later when we talking to his brothers. But
other thing that Zack said, he said he was willing. This is when Michaela really looked at him, gave him the sideways face. He said, "I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make this work.
I just stick in there and not run away. I'ma stay in there." So anyway,
I'm gonna do this with that. Throw that away. He lying. He's lying.
The next thing we see with them,
he's not willing to do whatever it takes to stay in a relationship and make it work.
The next thing we see with them, we see Zack with their own their personal camera, and they're recording. And he was like, and what was that you said? So this is what had happened.
And this is after that the group was together. They did the whole volleyball thing. The group was together. They played volleyball. Bao was in her cheerleading outfit, even though she doesn't like sports. Her and Johnny wasn't on the best terms at the time, so Johnny gave her a hug. And Johnny said, "What you?" Bao was like, "What you hug me for?" You know,
right?
You're like, we're not on the best of terms, but she was in there because she didn't play. The groups even split up. So now after the volleyball game, everybody had a good time. Zack and Michaela's at home, and they had this discussion.
If decision day was today, what would you say? And he said, he said, we both said no. What she said was, she couldn't decide. She didn't know. But he kept saying, but if it was, he forced her hand. He tried to force the answer out of her. And so she says, I said no, but my answer is, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. In this space today, maybe I would say, I say I don't know. I can't say I would say yes or no. Even on today. And so that caused a whole stir. Both of us said no. And so now Michaela doesn't want to sleep in the bed with me no more. So now we know they went back from the separate bedrooms. They back in the bed together.
Here we go.
And you said, and I believe it, they back bumping.
They screwing.
They back bumping and grinding.
They screwing, having sex, making whoopee, duking it, whatever you want to call it, whatever term you want to use, right? This is because when she said, do we want to sleep in separate rooms?
Man, he felt some type of way.
What he heard was, we're not going to have any more sex. What he heard is, I can't rub on your booty anymore. What he heard was, we can't cuddle and I can touch you anymore. What he heard was that, your soft lips, I'm not touching anymore. And so he felt that she was mean and mad. But she like, look, if it's no, then let's separate, but we can try to work back together and be even.
Yeah, because her point was, he said, basically, he gave a definitive no. And so her thing was, I'm thinking it's going good. If decision day was today and you said no, then it's not where I think it is. So why are we playing like it is? She was like, I'm not getting ready to play the game. So how about this? How about this? We're going to sleep in 2 different rooms. That's all she said.
She was hurt.
I want to sleep in...
She was hurt too because he said no because she was giving up the booty. And he was like, oh, my booty ain't good enough for you to say yes?
Right. But she said she just wanted to sleep in 2 different rooms. And said, here this joker come back. And since she wants to sleep in 2 different rooms, like, I'm not getting ready to do that. I'm going to go to my apartment instead. So, what's the difference between you going to your sleeping in the same apartment in 2 different rooms? You should have just stayed there in a separate room. It's worse when you leave.
Because he checked out, and what he said was...
No, he's soft as cotton. Soft as cotton. And like you said, he was mad. He won't go get no more trim.
Wasn't getting them.
Won't go get the drawers.
It wouldn't. But again, he said, according to him, he went back home because his bed was more comfortable than the guest room. Now
he said, if I'm gonna sleep somewhere else, I'm gonna sleep in my bed, a nice bed, my bed.
But he had already slept in the guest room before. He had slept in it. So to me, again, I call foul, call BS, sleep in there and try to work things out with your wife. And was she wrong for putting him out? Was she wrong for saying not sleeping? I don't want to sleep in bed with you.
No. I don't think they're not mature enough. Their relationship is not at the point where, listen, let's be real. I'ma say it. The word says don't let the sun go down on your wrath is the first thing. The second thing is, personally, my husband, and I mean I wasn't like this anyway, but his thing is, guess what? Ain't nobody sleeping on the couch.
Nobody sleeping on the couch.
So it's been plenty of times where we got in the bed, a little bit peeved at each other, but we still slept in the bed with each other.
Yeah, she still put her feet on me.
and we talked it over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right then and there. Because I think he shared this before. We know people.
Yeah, we do.
They have gone to bed mad, and the next day their spouse didn't wake up.
Yeah.
But besides that, again, the scripture says, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. You never know what can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, but my point was, that's our thing. So, I'm not mad at her for wanting to sleep in separate beds. At least she wanted to be in that space, and at least the next morning, they'd be there together, and they can come with level heads and talk about it and talk it out.
Yeah.
But dude left.
He left.
And so guess what? You just finished talking about not walking away.
Not running.
And not running, and that's what you did. And so, petty Michaela, I'm going to say this was petty.
But he talked about her bad, about her running, right? When she ran and she went home and she packed up the first time and she left, and yet he does the same thing. And so you can't be tit for tat. It has to be okay. And this was, to me, was like the conversation or the thing that sparked this was so petty.
Yeah.
She said right now, today, right? We're talking about today. We're not talking about 3 weeks from now. We're talking about today. If you ask any couple of Married at First Sight who've ever been on the show, there has been some days that your answer has been no. There's been some days that your answer has been yes.
Mm-hmm.
The way she handled it, or the way he handled it, the way he took it overboard was, again, it wasn't about the fact that she said no. It was about the fact of what he thought he was going to lose.
Yeah, he won't get none that night.
Yeah.
And so, what we see after that is, we see Zack on a, look like a Zoom type of call with his brothers. Mm-hmm. And this is what I couldn't figure out. I think it was supposed to be his brothers, him and Michaela, but he said it like it was supposed to be Michaela and not him.
Right, like they were supposed to get some family time together when Michaela was supposed to meet with her brothers.
With his brothers, yes.
And have a conversation.
And so he was like, have you heard from her? I heard she won't gonna be on here. Yeah. The brother's like, I haven't heard from her. And he was like, look, let me tell you what happened. Now, mind you, he told them about the situation, but he said it a little bit different.
He lied. He put it in his favor. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, he told the truth. He just left. He left part of it off.
He left some key components off to make it look like she was crazy. Again, I mean, let's be honest. I don't know if he intentionally did it.
She wilding. I said, well, I might as well just go sleep in my apartment. Yeah. As opposed to saying it like she didn't make a big deal of it. Yeah. You made a big deal, bruh. You made a big deal of it. And so, you know, he's like, and then she moved out.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say? She told him, well, just go then. If you're going to go, go.
Yeah.
And the brother said, bro, but you know she didn't mean that. And this is where I said your lack of experience in relationships and when it comes to women, period. You ask any man, they're going to tell you, you got to know. There's times when a woman's going to tell you, you want something to eat? No, I don't want nothing to eat. But I dare you to go in there and buy something for yourself and don't bring nothing.
Her stomach.
It's going to be a problem.
Her stomach growling already.
He don't know women well enough to know when she tells, no, just fine, just go. That she don't really mean that. She's saying that in the heat of the moment. His brother told him, you know she didn't mean that. He was like, what? Yeah, like I know that now. But she left. And he's like, bro, what made me mad? She took the spices. She took the seasonings.
Now, what we find out unfiltered, right? What we find out unfiltered is that she said, I took everything I purchased.
And it just so happened I bought the
spices. And she said, again on Unfiltered, I would do it again. She has no remorse. She said, I bought it. I would do it again. So if I bought the spices, I would do it.
Right, and her thing, the biggest thing, she was like, he left. So I left. Which is not right,
she
but...
She packed that stuff up and she went home. So I ain't going to be here by myself. But she says I'll get on Unfiltered, which I really like the way they do Unfiltered this year. My abandonment issues kicked in. I felt like I was abandoned because she even texted him and said, you know what? I apologize.
Again.
Come back.
Here you go again.
I apologize. Come back. You know, let's try to work this thing out. I didn't really mean it. But by that time, it was already foregone. But I'm always say this in relationships. Mean what you say and say what you mean. I don't play the game, well, I don't know. If you said it in the heat of an argument, guess what? You meant that thing. And so it is what it is. So she meant that, but let it rock. Hey, you know what? If you're working on it, then work on it. But she meant what she said when she like, go ahead and leave. And then after he closed the door, Why did I say that? She has to be grown enough at 30 years old to be able to curve her lips and keep her emotion, because there are some men who are going to take you literally for what you say. And so I'm not saying he was wrong for taking look. We ain't trying to turn this to church. A man would rather be on a rooftop than be in a house with a nagging woman, right? A dude would rather sleep in his car than be in a house with a woman who's nagging all the time. A dude would rather be homeless to be in a house with a woman who's nagging all the time.
And we're not saying she's nagging.
Or constantly going at him.
Right.
And that's what Zack is at. Zack said, you know what? I'd rather go across town, be in my apartment, than have to hear her mouth.
Especially if I'm not getting none.
Well, that too, but that's what his
No,
mouth.
I'm saying,
That's how a man thinks. I'd rather be over this way than have to hear you go back and jaw all the time. And now you telling me that you didn't really want me to go after the fact? So where's the relation? They really need communication in their relationship. And again, they really don't know each other. Right? They don't know each other, and that's why when she can say this, he takes it seriously, because they don't know each other. When somebody's been in a relationship, if they're dated or they've been married and they know each other, then you move on. And they both are they're childish. They're very childish. They haven't been in long-term relationships. All they do in scene relationships, they're childish and they need help. She needs help, he needs help, and they need how to work things together and compromise.
I want to throw this in there. One thing that she also said on Unfiltered is she wasn't actually the one that canceled the meeting.
Right, her sister did.
She had basically gone off the deep end, is what she said. She had a panic attack.
Yeah.
Like she said, her abandonment issues kicked in. She just wasn't functioning. She wasn't in a good space, a good place. And her sister is the one that canceled. She found out after the fact.
Because she was looking for the meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
They're a mess. They're a mess. My two couples that I started out liking the most have disintegrated before my eyes.
Well, they know how to look in both of your relationships, right? They know how to push each other's buttons, right? Zack knows what to say to get her to take him to the left so he can go home, because that's where he feel comfortable. Remember we talked about safe place, right? Zack's safe place is at his house, right? So he's always going to go back to his safe place. Her safe place is at her house. So they're and none of their safe places are ever together. So when they're together, it's like they're walking on eggshells with each other, and neither one is going to want to say anything to make the other person mad, because they want to enjoy the moment. And the thing about that is and when you're in relationships like that, you don't even know what you may say that will trigger that person. So that's not a good place to be at. And they both will trigger each other, and then neither one of them know how to let things go. Zack could have easily said, you know what, Michaela, fine. I'll sleep in the bedroom tonight. That's no problem. And she could have easily said, you know what, Zack, I don't want you to sleep in the bedroom. Even though your answer is no today, please still. She
might have brought him back in after a couple of hours.
But I'm just saying.
Guess what I'm saying? Yeah. You never know. She might have been like, you know what? Okay, a couple hours was enough. She might have went in there and climbed in the bed with him.
Oh, I came to my senses. I'm upset. Let me clear my mind, clarify. Let's get this thing together.
Right.
So there's several things that could have taken place and happened. This is where I believe that you should be able to call the expert and say, look, we just got into this spat. How can we handle this situation? I need your help. Because again, they haven't dated. They haven't been in what you call a long relationship. They're getting to know each other, and they're going to have these. So they need to have a lifeline to be able to say, you know what, I need help here. And so that will make their relationship that much better.
Yeah, that's the only one. I don't think the other brother really said. That's the one thing that bothered me too. When Zack was on the Zoom with his brothers, and the one brother was like, "Man, that's annoying. That's petty. Why would you?" And I'm like, "Bro, you don't even know the whole story. Be quiet."
He knows what his brothers tells him. He knows that part of the story. When you leave somebody else to tell your story, they're always going to tell the story to make it look like they didn't do anything. And he
is good for that.
And he made it look like he didn't have a role in this, because he didn't really kind of blow this out of proportion. It's what it is. Man. They don't like each other. That was a lot. That was a lot. They're a lot. But again, I like the fact on this episode that they was able to meet with the experts. The experts were able to have a conversation with them. Even though some of the conversation that the expert had, or the advice that the expert had, wasn't helpful in my opinion. They didn't really get deep into it. They left it up to the, I don't want to say participants, they left it up to the married couples to try to work things out for themselves. But next week's episode will be interesting.
Category 5.
We're going to see Category 5.
We went from Category 3. We about to see Category 5.
We're about to see Hurricane Kate and all the damage she causes. I told you my favorite part in that clip is when she pushed that bench over and almost tripped herself. That would have been hilarious.
Ain't nothing worse than doing something in anger and then tearing yourself up.
If you saw the anger and hurt yourself, she almost bit the dust. But nonetheless, we get to see that. Hey, give us your thoughts in the comment section. For all those that was in the chat tonight, thank you for chatting, communicating with us. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you didn't hit the thumbs up button, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you share it with somebody else. We appreciate you guys. Once again, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification. Let us know what you thought about episode 13 of season 13 of Married at First Sight. Which couples, before we get out of here, where your couples at right now?
Mirla and Gil, number 1.
Correct.
Since I gotta pick one,
yeah,
Jose and Rachel will be next.
Okay. We agree on Mirla and Gil. I got Mirla and Gil. Number 3.
I told you I'd be having a 3-way tie. I'm sorry. Brett, Ryan, Bao, Johnny, Michaela, and Zack. Now let's put Brett and Ryan. No, I'm sorry. They're all a mess in different ways.
Bao and Johnny's number 3 for me. Brett and Ryan, and then we go Michaela and Zack are to round out the top 5.
Oh, you think they were worse than? You think they're worse than
Michaela and Zack? Yes.
Worse than Bao and Johnny this time?
Yes, Michaela and Zack, Bao and Johnny. At least Bao and Johnny are staying in the same spot right now.
As far as we know, yeah.
At least Johnny is flopping between trying to work it and not working. Michaela and Zack are like deuces.
Yeah.
All right, they gave up the 2 up. They gave you the fingers, deuces. All right, so those are my top 5. Let us know what your what order would you put the couples in this week, from 1 to 5. 1 being the best couple and 5 being the least couple that you like.
Best, the worst.
The worst couple.
Best of the worst.
The best of the worst. The best of the worst. Let us know what you think. Once again, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification. Look out for more videos on this week's episode of Married at First Sight. Also, check out our Ready to Love. Ready to Love starts October the 15th, this Friday. So check out our Ready to Love review that will be dropping as well as Ready to Love goes off. We appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. And catch you down the road. We'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.